Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our virtual college visit series. We are really excited to have Mr. Charles Parker here with us today. He is an Atlee High School graduate from 2019, so that's really exciting. And he has come back with us to share information about Virginia Tech and the Corps of Cadets program at VT. So just again, Mr. Parker, thank you so much for being here. We're excited to have you. And I will just hand it right over to you to get us started. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for having me. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charles Parker, like Ms. Edwards said. I'm a freshman cadet at Virginia Tech. Also, if you hear any yelling or stuff, that is out in the hallway, and that is freshmen doing freshman things. So I apologize for that if that is at all distracting. You will learn very quickly if you come here that is just part of everyday life. But let's go ahead and get into it. So a little bit about me. I'm from Atlee High School. I'm an Atlee grad, as Ms. Edwards said. I'm a third generation Hokie. So if I had gone to UVA, my mom probably would have gone up in hives. I'm a political science and Arabic major. Technically, I'm national security and foreign affairs, but that's just a fancy word for political science. Here's a couple of photos of me. This is my tour. We met Frank Beamer in front of Burris Hall. This is my sister Ainsley. She's a senior at Atlee High School. This is my dog Scooby. He is amazing. I miss him all the time when I'm up here. So Virginia Tech was actually founded as a military college. It was called the Virginia Agricultural and Mechanical College. And it had a program very similar to what VMI is today. It was an all-military school. The students were organized into a battalion of 2 companies. So it was all under the commandant of. This was all directed under the commandant of cadets, Confederate General Lane. He is considered the father of the Corps of Cadets. And this building here, Lane Hall, that is named after him. And we just have a really rich history going back all the way to the founding of the school. So obviously we're no longer an all military institution anymore. Civilians now outnumber the cadets by a very, very wide margin. The school has changed its name several times over the course of its history, and eventually it landed on Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University, which is too verbose for most people, so people just call it Virginia Tech. The Corps plans to expand from its current level of around 1,200 cadets to around 1,400 over the next several years. We have a new dorm under construction and a new military science and leadership building that will be constructed hopefully by the time I graduate, but we'll see how that goes. If you guys are freshmen in high school, then hopefully if you guys come here, it will be here by the time you guys get here, but I don't know, we'll see. And there's just a lot of stuff. There's too much to put in a PowerPoint that I could present to you. We would be here for hours. So moving with that, the Corps is basically, it's an umbrella organization for all of the ROTC units at Virginia Tech. And it brings together the Marine Corps, the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, and the Air Force, and the Space Force now, though I think we're still working on that. My EXO is actually going into the Space Force after she graduates this year. So a really diverse body of people that you live and work with every day. Everybody's got their own goals. I'm not in ROTC myself. I'm in the non-commissioning program. I want to go into a 3-letter agency, so FBI, CIA. And that's the route that I've chosen for myself. But I've also considered Army OCS. But I'm just not going to be doing ROTC just because it's too many classes, and I'm already on a path for a dual degree. So the big thing about the Corps of Cadets that really separates it from other military colleges is that it's not military all the time, at least after your freshman year. You're able to change into civilian clothing after 5 p.m. And you're able to hang out with friends, and just be a normal college student in Blacksburg. You get to have fun and do all the normal things that college kids would do. Of course, normal is pretty relative these days given Corona. But everybody who's here really loves it, and we all have a great time. So the senior leadership. So there's a lot. I know these are a lot of people, and you guys don't need to know all of them. But these are the big 8. Over here in the top left-hand corner is Major General Fullhart. He's the current commandant of cadets, and he's been working really hard to secure donors for scholarships and for different programs that will expand the Corps and its presence on campus. To his right, we have the 3 deputy commandants. This is Colonel Alia for the 1st Battalion, which is what the battalion I'm in, Lieutenant Colonel Russell for the 2nd Battalion, and Captain McGrath. Over here, we have the senior enlisted advisors. This is Command Sergeant Major Willie, Master Gunnery Sergeant Jones, who is just an institution in and of himself, and Sergeant Major Combs. And over here is Mr. Oberoy, who is the director of the Citizen Leader Program. And he's actually on his way out right now. He's in nursing school. He served in the military previously. He's a single father, so he has a lot on his plate, and we couldn't be more happy for him. So the freshman experience, I'm going through it right now, and I'll just put the photos up here. There's a lot of yelling. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot of yelling, but it's our battalion commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Dillo, described it to me when I was speaking with her casually during an event, and she said it was the most fun she never wants to have again. And it is fun in the most bizarre way possible, because you really don't remember how sucky it was. It will be sucky at times, but you'll remember the fun that you had, whether it's messing around with your cadre or the people in the colored shirts. They're going to be the ones that are always harping on you to do something better, shine your shoes more. They're going to be inspecting you. They're going to be running your training, and those are people who are really going to be your point of contact at least for the first 6 weeks that you're here. So to add on to that, the freshman experience is really stretched out into 4 phases. So New Cadet Week, it's just a week, and it's the week before school starts. This is the most intense it will be all year long. You are waking up. Well, technically, you don't really know the time. You're not allowed to have any electronics or anything. So you don't know what time it is. But you generally will wake up sometime around 5 o'clock, and you'll go to breakfast. You'll do Supermans, which are quick changes. You'll be focusing to learning to march, rifle drill, it's like trying to drink from a fire hose. You're not going to get it all, but you learn an incredible amount of information during that first week. More than anybody really thinks they can. So after New Cadet Week ends with the New Cadet Parade, you go into Red Phase. Red Phase is it's the first 6 weeks, and it ends with the Caldwell March, which is dedicated to the first student to register at Virginia Tech. He walked 26 miles from his hometown to Blacksburg, be able to register for classes and be able to make a better life for himself. And we separated the Cowboy March into two separate marches, excuse me. They're both 13 miles. So the first one is at the end of red phase, and that really is your first big milestone before you get to like Thanksgiving and stuff. White phase, it levels out, and this is largely company dependent. You'll still have yelling. Training is not over by any means. You are still a freshman, you are still a rat, and you are still learning. You're still at the bottom of the barrel, to put it lightly. But you're still learning, and you really get your first level of interaction with the sophomores, who are your fire team leaders, which are like, that's going to be like they're going to be focusing on you and maybe one other person in your training company. So you get a much greater level of interaction with your chain of command, and that really allows special relationships to be able to form. I know you're not supposed to be friends with your chain of command, but you definitely do develop like a kind of mentor style kind of relationship with them that is extremely rewarding. So if white phase ends with the military ball, which actually, if it were happening, would be this weekend. So I'm well on my way into blue phase, and this is where you're training to become a sophomore, more or less. You're preparing to shuffle into a new company. All these changes are taking place, and it can be overwhelming. You have a lot less structure, and things are changing, but you want to be able to keep the standard. And the way my first semester fire team leader described it is red phase. It's storming, norming, and performing. Red phase is storming. You don't know everything, and you're learning. You're trying to do your best. You're not going to get everything. White phase is norming. You're getting the hang of it. Blue phase is performing. You are expected to know how to be able to put a rib together, how to be proficient in rifle drill, how to put your uniform together, how to do all these basic things that are expected of every cadet. So with that being said, once you get out of the freshman craziness, there are a lot of organizations that you can join with, and the joining process is called tapping here. If you're familiar with Virginia Tech football, this is the cannon that they fire every time there's a touchdown, and that is Skipper Crew. They have a lot of fun, and you get to wear a special uniform, and you get to fire a cannon. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. You have Growly Crew, who Growly is our core mascot. He is the cutest dog you will ever meet, besides my dog, of course. You have Gregory Guard, which is a precision rifle drill team. We have band company, or the Heidi Tidies, which you would be in prior to TAPU. You have to join them for New Cadet Week. You have Conrad Cavalry, and so if you're interested in veterinary sciences or anything like that, you have an opportunity to do that and work with horses and have a really unique experience. And finally, there's Color Guard. This is the one I'm actually going through TAP right now. This is the most prestigious unit in the regiment, and it's freshman stuff all over again. You're going through training for Color Guard, and you're not guaranteed to make it in, but you just enjoy your time while you're doing it, and make friends, make connections, and that's really the most important thing. So the biggest thing about VTCC, which is the Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets, is the civilian military balance. You really are not going to get this kind of balance anywhere else. Maybe at Texas A&M, but I'm not too familiar with their program. It's pretty much all military all the time, from what I gather. VMI that's a whole other ballgame, and service academies, you're always in the uniform. it's very strict. A lot of stuff that there are a lot of things that you're just not allowed to do, and you know, which is okay for some people, and other people, you know, want to be able to be close to home, or they don't want to have to be in uniform all the time. So, and you also, and the next thing, you also get a lot of emphasis on leadership. We actually have a leadership minor offered through the Corps. I'm not going to be doing it. I'm already a double major and a dual degree applicant. So that's just not really in the cards for me, but you get to work with extraordinary people all the time. And they really, you have to learn, you have to be able to learn from them and make the best with what you're given. You also have an extraordinary amount of resources available to you, whether that's tutoring, mentorship, or anything else. You can get access to language help, like I am with the Cadet Language Organization. But the biggest thing overall is, if you're in an ROTC, ROTC is what you're focusing on. You're focusing on becoming an officer, training, going to field training experiences, and for field training exercises, excuse me, and getting scholarships if you can. So I will be the first to say that that Virginia Tech's ROTC programs are extremely competitive, and we get a lot of scholarship students here. It's generally easier to get scholarships for Air Force and Army ROTC. We have a lot of 4, 3, and 2 year scholarship people. Navy is a lot more difficult just because of the classes that you have to take for it, which is like physics and calculus classes. And that's the same with the Marine option. And you have to have a pretty stellar GPA to be able to land those with Navy. So some things to know before you sign the dotted line for the Corps of Cadets. You are bound by the honor code. That is one of the biggest things here. You know, I will not lie, cheat, steal, nor will I tolerate those who do. That is one of the first things you learn at on New Cadet Week. That is the ruling mantra of this entire organization. Is without trust, you have no ability to lead anybody. And also with that being said, the university has its own honor system. So if you cheat on a test, you will probably be subject to double jeopardy. You can get sanctioned from both the Corps and the university, whether that's an F asterisk, which is like an F earned by academic misconduct and dishonesty, and sanctions within the Corps, which can be demotion or up to dismissal, which that has happened in my time here. You should know academics come first. That's the reason you're at a university. You know, that it's academics, ROTC, Corps, and everything else follows that. You know, you're not going to be getting as much sleep as you'd like to. You know, you have to request permission to take naps. You know, it's some of that freshman stuff. But academics really are the biggest thing that you need to focus on. Nothing is handed to you here. You know, you have to earn it. Cadre makes that very clear when you're in New Cadet Week, and you know, you have to work for everything that you get, whether that's privileges or tapping an organization or anything else here. And that's an extension of real life. That's what life is about. You don't get things handed to you by default in the real world. You have to earn it through hard work. And you really live with extraordinary people from every walk of life. I'm from Mechanicsville. I'm a suburbanite kid. I lived in Richmond my entire life. My roommate, his parents worked with the State Department, and he lived most of his life overseas in Thailand and Cambodia. So he has just a wealth of experiences that I never would have gotten if I had just been a civilian student. I have a roommate down the hall, or a hallmate, that his parents worked for the CIA, and they were stationed in Berlin. And you have military families, you have people like me, or just like, you know, the rural kids. And you know, the bottom line is you're all here to learn, but you can learn from each other just as much as you're learning from your cadre. You know, that, and all that being said, it's really not that hard. It sounds intimidating. It's not. If you use common sense, you will succeed in the Corps of Cadets. Common sense will take you far in life. So if you have any questions, now would be the time. You can ask me about the Corps, or you can just ask me about Virginia Tech, or being a student, or being a college student in the pandemic. You know, whatever you need.
Just like, what does an average day look like for you?
So for freshmen, you know, average day, you know, you go to PT around, you have to wake up around 4:45 a.m. And you go to PT until about 6:15. You come back, take a shower, go to formation. You probably have to clean your room in that point. You go to class, and do the things that a normal student would. You come back, you have ECQ, which is evening call to quarters, which is mandatory study hours from 7 to 11 p.m. You can take early lights before then if you need extra sleep. It's kind of dependent on your fire team leader, but they should allow you to take early lights. And you wake up and you do the entire thing and you do it all again. But you get a lot of interaction with your buds, and your buds really become, it's just what you call the other freshmen in your company. You know, they become like siblings to you. They're your family away from your family, and you know, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Charles, is there anything that you would recommend to students, and really in any grade levels, you know, 9th through 12th or 9th through 11th, I guess, you know, that they should be doing, or that they could be doing in high school now to kind of prepare to apply to this type of program? You know, it's very competitive, and just any advice you would have for students in terms of that?
I would definitely say come in with good habits. Whether it's studying and time management, which we do a lot of work with stuff like that. But you also have to be able to PT and be able to pass your physical fitness assessment. Those are the biggest things I would say. You just mental preparation is one of the biggest things that you can do to prepare for a program like this.
Thank you. How about from an academic standpoint? Any tips or information you might be able to share related to that?
Do you mean with Virginia Tech in general, or just or with the Corps?
Really, I guess I'm asking probably more so with the Corps. I just didn't know if there was any advice or information you might offer related to that.
Yeah, so we do have a couple of classes that you have to take your freshman and sophomore year. It's your core lab, and which it's not an actual lab. It's just like lecture. It's an updates, and just general things like that. I will say that you have access to a lot of like free tutoring. It's a big thing. My platoon sergeant, he's an applied mathematics major, which, you know, I'm not in any of those types of classes. That just is way over my head. But for the people who are in engineering, which is a good portion of the student body here at Virginia Tech and a good portion of the Corps of Cadets, you know, that kind of relationship is really invaluable to being able to succeed in their classes, whether it's calculus or physics or chemistry or whatever.
Thank you.
Any other questions, guys, from Lloyd or Martin?
Nah, I don't really have any questions.
All right, well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much, Charles. It has been great to see you. We're glad that you're doing so well. Thank you for sharing all this information. It's really helpful for our students. It's helpful for us as school counselors so that we can share information with our students and parents. So we just really appreciate your time, and good luck to you the rest of this semester. And we will definitely be staying in touch with you.
All right, awesome. And also, let me get, ooh, that is not what I'm trying to do. Let's see. Students, if you can fill out this is an extremely long link, but if you fill this out, you can get some more information, and Lieutenant Colonel Merriger should be in contact with you. You can put your information in. It will also get points for my company for a couple of awards, which are important. So just keep that in mind. And but if I see you guys here in the future, I look forward to hearing from you. Also, just feel free to reach out to me at any time. Ms. Edwards, you can give them my contact information. Just shoot me a text or an email. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions.
All right.